how you acted in the previous video was feminine. Yes or no?
No. I think that you lost your emotional control and started being passive aggressive with indirect insults.
No, I'm not passive aggressive. Women are passive aggressive. I'm aggressive. Listen, stop it there. I'm aggressive. My nature as a man is aggressive. I'm not passive aggressive. I called you feminine. Is that passive aggressive? That's very aggressive. What are you speaking about? Listen, bro. Welcome to No Fugazee Podcast. State your name and where you from.
Hey, my name is Chris. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. I currently reside in Atlanta.
Okay, cool. All right, and what are you here to debate about?
I pretty much was listening to your first part when you was talking about the grief part when Tracy was speaking, and I kind of disagreed with that part on when you said that you can't be grieving and also be whole. And then I was kind of like locked into on what you was just currently talking about. But if I could just kind of like just piggyback from the last thing I remember, I guess we could just go from there. But when you're talking about the feminism part, I think that a lot of I feel like the way you were narrating your ideologies and diagnosing her statements, I kind of think it was like disingenuous, just from the perspective of not really getting the core of what she was saying. I think to take like a surface level clip in that small frame of a conversation with her and Michelle and her brother, I think that it was kind of like disingenuous. Even too, while you were inserting like the feminism aspect of her mindset, and also addressing the fact that she can only obtain like younger men.
And you know, as much as grief does surface for me around not having children and not having a partner, I still wouldn't want the wrong partner.
That's a great point for people to hear.
I'm not interested in that. You have to make my life better. It can't just be, you know, I'm in a relationship to be in a relationship. So even though the grief does emerge and that comes and I hold that, I think of what I've done. But a lot of men my age are steeped in a toxic masculinity and have been raised in a culture where there is a particular way that a relationship looks. And anything that starts to smell of that for me, I did enough of it where I was controlled and felt like I was a possession or whatever those things were, or prize I have no interest in it. We've talked about this, that often I date younger men. And a lot of it is because...
Let's stop on that, folks.
Oh my God, we had a great dinner.
Wait, stop right there. So my first question is, do you think that she was not indoctrinated by feminism?
I don't think that I can make that claim from that clip. I don't.
And why can't you?
Because I just believe that in order to actually understand or know a person's morals or their standpoint, you just have to be able to ask them that question for them to expound. I think through that clip, with the narrative that you're pushing, I don't think that clip justified enough evidence that she believes that 100%.
What is feminism?
Personally, I just only I'm privy to the negative parts about it, which is pretty much women that just bash men and support everything women over men. That's kind of the synopsis of what the negative parts of what I got for it. But I knew it was supposed to start out as like a woman empowerment type of movement. I could be wrong. I don't know 100%.
Okay, so
there's a negative connotation connected to it.
Fair enough. I say this: influence creates thinking, and thinking creates behavior. So what I am insinuating that she was influenced by feminism, and she took on the thinking of feminism, and then she took on the actions of feminism, and she is currently receiving the results of feminism. So first we have to have a understanding on what is feminism. You gave me a definition and you said, well, that's when women believe that they are more powerful than men. Is there anything else you want to expound on your definition or your understanding of feminism?
I mean, I don't think it was that exactly what you said, but like I said, I think it started out as a woman empowerment movement that I think got hijacked by a radical group of women that turned it into a negative on bashing men and kind of like, you know. So
my definition of feminism would be more towards egalitarianism, the fight for women to be equal to a man. So let's get back on topic, right? Because you said that I was being disingenuous when I was speaking about Tracy and her mindset. And I said that she was indoctrinated. If she wasn't influenced by feminism, what else was she influenced by for her to have these thoughts, speak the way she's speaking, and be single at 52 but yearn for kids?
I think it's simple. Experiences. I believe that experiences, like you said, shape opinions. Experiences shape thoughts, ideologies. So I believe that that's the beauty and inclusivity of everybody. That's why that's the beauty that I love about everybody. That everybody has a different experience to maybe achieve the same goal from a different route. So I think, like I said earlier, for you to narrate
no.
the
You're being disingenuous now.
But I just want to finish my statement if you don't mind.
Okay, go ahead. Finish your statement.
But for you to, so I feel like it was disingenuous for you to narrate your point or ideology that she was influenced by feminism, but it couldn't be because of maybe good experiences, bad experiences, social experiences that shaped her entire perspective on dating, which allowed her to have her own ideology of dating, which could possibly maybe help her find her partner. I think for you to kind of like railroad into like just a straight negative, like, oh, feminism influenced you, and you can only have young men, and your options are limited. I just think that was kind of like a very...
Okay, let's stick on experiences, because you're saying that it's her experiences. Is her experiences in dating and relationships not by choice?
Yes.
It is by choice, right? Which means that she created her own reality because she prioritized her career before a man. That's what she chose, right?
I mean, you can look at it from that perspective, yes.
Not even that perspective. Is that's what's true?
I don't know, because
how don't you know that if the end result right now? Listen, stop it. Listen, time out. Let me just finish my point, and I'll let you explain. If the end, how don't you know? Because you're not making. I want you to think a little bit. The end result, her reality right now, is she's 52. She has no kids and she has no husband, but she wants a husband and she wants kids. She actually feels grief for not having kids or a husband. This is what she wants, but she never got what she wanted. This would conclude that the choices that she made led up to her results. Would that be correct or no?
Not 100%, because her choices that she makes...
Explain how.
Because her choices that she make is not the sole priority outcome of just her decision. If I got like me and my wife, I'm married. So when I dated my wife, my intentions were my intentions going into it, and her intentions were her intentions coming into it. I can only be responsible for my intentions going into it, not the other person. So if I went into it with pure intentions, looking to be the husband that I am, the provider, the protector that I am, and she either did not value that or did not meet me at a place where I saw value to connect with her on the next level, then I'm not responsible for that. But I will take accountability on the experience to a certain degree. But it's not, I can't be responsible solely for their like response to it or their lack of value being brought to what I was expecting, if that makes sense.
So let's take this conversation in another route, because I can't have these. I was trying to have deep, thought-provoking conversations with you. I'm going to be honest, you lack that. So I'm going to take it another route. I'm be honest. It's not me being disrespectful. I'm being honest. So let's take it more of an easier route for you.
But I know we can move forward. I take it as a little disrespectful, man.
Fair enough. I don't really care how you take it. It is what it is. But here we go.
That's understandable. Go ahead.
Generally speaking, do you think that most guys want a woman to follow their lead?
100%.
Generally speaking, do you think that most women want a man that is a leader?
100% under the contingency that he's following God.
Stop it. That's religious. Like, there's a lot of secular people that don't even...
But I am religious, so if you ask me my perspective, then I'm going to give you my authentic perspective and not...
Yeah, but I'm speaking I'm speaking in general. If they're religious, some people will want them following God. If they're secular, you think these Tracy Ellis Ross and...
Christianity is one of the biggest religions in the world.
Okay, do you think that she's religious?
So let's just speak generally. Generally speaking, most people are Christian.
Okay, do you think that she's religious?
I would assume so. Yeah, I've heard her speak about
And
God
do you
before.
think that generally speaking, most women are religious in America?
100%.
Do their actions say that they're religious? Or do they
Uh,
just say that they're religious?
I would assume so for sure.
So you think that most women in America, their actions prove that they're religious?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you're real far going, but let's bring you back.
I can go with that, seeing as though that women are the largest they hold the largest population in most black churches, in churches in general. I could also show that women are like the highest tithe payers in churches, and they are
So
the highest. And
what you're doing
they are
right
the
now, you're mixing in black. The black race is only what, 10%, 13% of the American population. So let's get back on topic. Forget about the religious part. Let's bring it back to the leadership, right? Because I'm going somewhere with this. So you do believe that most men want women to follow their lead.
100%.
That is true.
100%.
So in this situation, as Tracy Ellis said, that a lot of these guys that she talked to are controlling and they're possessive, and she titled it as toxic masculinity. Do you think when women make a title of toxic masculinity and they say, well, that's when men are controlling and stuff like that, do you think that they have this view because they don't want to submit and follow a man's lead? Or is men actually trying to be controlling?
I think it could be a little bit of both. I think that there are a good bit of people who have control issues that try to control their women like items.
A better question for you. Fair enough. A better question for you. Do you think that she thinks that a man having standards is controlling?
Nah.
Let me know if you agree with this. You would say that most men, you already agreed to it, most men have standards of wanting a woman to follow their lead. You said yes to that.
Yeah, 100%.
So men have this standard, follow my lead, submit to me, right? Be subservient to me. That's how you follow my lead. With this you can say religion, you can say this woman isn't religious, and most women in America isn't religious. So I disagree with your presupposition that most women in America is religious. Let's just get back to the debate. We concluded that in regards to dating and relationships, the experiences that you have is by choice. And we already know that the choices that she made led her to be 52 years old and single with no kids. And if you look at feminism is the correlation to that thinking, because feminism tells women to be independent, to be equal to a man, and to prioritize a career over family and children, which proves my point that she was definitely indoctrinated by feminism.
But that's not every woman's purpose is to.
We're not speaking about every woman. We're speaking about her, and she does want a man and children.
So I'm asking you this then. So where do you get the grounds to make the claim that her purpose, to some degree, is to have children and to be married?
She literally said that she's grieving because she does not.
She said she wanted a partner. She was saying that she was grieving.
She said she's grieving.
Found a partner.
Because liberals use words like partner, because even if she was married, she would still call her husband her partner. That's just what it is, bro. That's what liberals do. So we can peel the layer. We could take away all the titles and let's just say that she wants a man and she wants children, but she is feeling grief because she does not have kids and a man. You get what I'm saying? This means that she took the wrong actions in her younger years, which means that her results, I
wouldn't say that her actions were wrong. I would agree with you with your statement prior. I would agree with your statement that you made prior and say that she prioritized maybe her career and things like that. But even with her statement saying that she's getting closer up the ladder to achieving that, again, that goes back to my point of her experience.
If her actions isn't wrong, why does she feel grief?
Because I don't think that, like you said earlier about the definition of grief is when you're having a loss or a significant loss to a loved one or a thing. I don't think that grief is like the punishment of you making bad decisions. I don't believe that. I think that's the point that you're trying to insinuate.
No, man. No. Listen. She's using grief as an analogy, as a word to link on to how she's feeling. Like, meaning that she's correlating her feelings of not having children and a man would be similar to feeling a loss of a loved one. And grief, you feel a lot of anguish when you have grief. And it's a mental state where you're suffering. So you're suffering mentally. So she's saying with her own words that she is suffering mentally because she does not have a man and children. So you said that she didn't do anything wrong in her younger years.
Right.
Because she can still find somebody now. Right. And then I said that, well, she can't have a kid, but that's what she wants. She's feeling grief because she doesn't have a kid and a man. So two things.
But the reason why I disagree with that is because, like I said, every woman.
How can you disagree with that's what she said? We're not speaking about every woman. We're speaking about this clip.
She didn't say verbatim like, oh, I'm grieving because I want to have a child. She did not say that. She did not say that.
You want me to go ahead and play the clip back? I'll play it real back just because you're lying right now. So we're going to go ahead and play it back.
And, as much as grief does surface for me around not having children and not having a partner.
Stop it right there. Can you admit that you lied?
No, I said that she said she don't want to have kids. She didn't say that, oh, I want to have a child right now. That's what I just said. You can roll back what I just said.
Why would you just lie? You just said that you don't think that she's feeling grief because she does not have a man and children. She just said in this... She just said, you did just say that. Now you're gaslighting because you don't want to be wrong. This is very feminine behavior. Listen, bro, this is very feminine behavior.
That's fine. You can say
this is what chicks do. They lie and try to gaslight because they don't want to be wrong. It's okay. Listen. It's okay. Stop it. It's okay to say that you are wrong. I'm not letting you go on. You have to admit that you were wrong. You have to admit that you were wrong.
Statements, but it doesn't make your point.
Stop it. Admit that you were wrong.
I specifically said.
Okay, listen, man. Now you're speaking like a female and you're behaving like a female, and this is what I don't respect. So you're off of here because we just proved you wrong. We proved that you are a liar. Got to get them out of here. Got to get these clowns out of here. We literally, chat. We do it in 4K. We do it live. This is what I tell y'all, bro. Dudes come on here behaving just like a lunatic chick. He says one thing. I don't think that she said that she's feeling grief because she does not have a man and a kid. I said, no, she did say that and you're a liar. I'll actually play the clip right now. We play the clip. The first 5 seconds in the clip, she says it. I'm feeling grief because I don't have a man and children. Then I go back and I ask him, can you admit that you were wrong? He says, oh, well, I didn't say that. I say, you are a liar. Yo, these niggas be trying to gaslight. They be trying. And that's why I did it quick so he couldn't gaslight. Because if it would have prolonged more and I would have then brung up the clip, I maybe would have forgot what he said or how he said it and stuff like that, and it wouldn't have been fresh on my mind, and I may have just let it go. Like, oh, okay, maybe you didn't say that. Maybe you said something else. But nah, this is why we gotta shoot from the hip, chat. Shoot from the hip. When they lie, we pull up the receipts. And the crazy thing is, as a man, bro, and something so silly like that, you could just misinterpret something. You could have misspoke. You could have maybe just didn't listen to the video properly. There can be many reasons of why you think she said something else. But for you to then, when I catch you in the lie, to double down and try to move the goalpost to say that you said something else right before we played the clip is crazy, bro. This is what females do. The ones that want to get away through something. The ones that's always trying to do some backdoor teen mom stuff. The ones that's cheating. The ones that want to monkey branch. The ones that's in a relationship with the man, would say something to the man, and then when the man confronts her like, oh, I didn't say this. Oh, I said I was going there, but you misheard me. I really didn't say that. No, I get these type of guys that hit me up for coaching all the time, and I'm like, bro, she's lying to you. She's gaslighting you, bro. She's a whore. If she's lying, bro, she cheated, she did this, is like, bro, don't be like one of these females that I have on a podcast that don't want to take a L. Men, we are men. We are okay with saying like, I was wrong, you was right. I don't have a problem with saying that at all. I was wrong, you was right in the stance, because it isn't even that big of a deal. Okay, we got a super chat. Christopher Robinson, this is the guy that I just debated. He says, bring me back on. Hey, Chat, put a 1 in the chat if you want me to bring him back on. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't. But I will only bring him back on if he apologizes and also says that he is wrong. Put a 1 in the chat if you want me to bring him back on. It looks like 2s is winning. Looks like they do not want me to bring you back on. But listen, I'm feeling generous today. So here's what I'll do. Since I'm feeling a little generous, in the first 5 seconds, Chris, if you're watching this, if you do not apologize for lying to me and the audience as well, a lie is bad. You said you're a man of faith. A lie is a sin. You, 1, have to apologize to myself and the audience, and 2, state that you were in fact wrong and I was in fact right. Welcome to the show. You got 5 seconds to start.
So I'll say this. I apologize for being dishonest to you and your podcast. And not, I guess, standing on what I said, which was not my original statement. So I apologize. But
and with that, I can respect that. I can respect that as a man. Right cool. From there. So, okay, cool. So let's get back into the crux of the argument. Go ahead.
But I had a statement I wanted to make. I think outside of that, I think one of the biggest things right now that I feel a way about your content in this moment is I feel like, bro, you lead with a lot of judgment, and I think that personally you come off as a womanizer. And the reason why I say that is because the way that you portray your ideologies on different people's opinions and the things that they say to fit your narrative push, I think is wrong. And I always see you do this in regards to when it comes down to Black women. I think that you don't never give a fair opportunity for people to expound on their beliefs or their ideologies. I think that you take a lot of small clips and you already have a pre-notion narrative that you want to push. And I think on a side note, I think you're very smart, you're very intelligent, because you're profiting off of the conversations and the antics that men who won't even stand on their pivot on what they really believe, they will hide behind the keyboard and kind of support what you're saying because you're projecting a vague.
Got it. That's enough. That's enough there. That's enough there. What I've heard.
You call me feminine and emotional, but
that's enough from what I've heard. I think you stated out your point, and I'm going to just repeat it back to let you know that I understand what you're saying. Okay. You're stating that after of course I cut you off because it was very long-winded and you was like repeating not the same thing, but repeating where my mind is just moving so fast, and I gave you another chance. So respect the fact that you back up here. So one, you came up here again to critique me after you as a man had to just come onto another man's podcast and apologize to the world that you lied. But then you are upset that I'm calling you feminine. Is it not true that how you acted in the previous video was feminine? Yes or no?
No. I think that you lost your emotional control and started being passive aggressive with indirect.
No, I'm not passive aggressive. Women are passive aggressive. I'm aggressive. Listen, stop it there. I'm aggressive. My nature as a man is aggressive. I'm not passive aggressive. I called you feminine. Is that passive aggressive? That's very aggressive. What are you speaking about? Listen, bro. I gave you another chance and I let you speak and get it out. But you came on here trying to critique me. But therefore you're critiquing me by saying that I'm judgmental. Are you not doing the same thing that you're accusing me of?
I'm not.
Are you not doing the same thing that you are accusing me of?
No, I'm telling you.
You said that, listen, with your podcast, stop it there. Hush. Buddy, let me give you a lesson about manhood. Let me give you a lesson. Let me give you a lesson. Let me give you a lesson. That's totally fine. I'm going to treat you with how much respect, the respect that you deserve right now. You came on here.
Type of respect I would deserve.
Stop it while I'm speaking. I will have to put you on mute while I'm speaking in order for me to get my point out. And you know what, chat? Most people, I'll put you on mute. Most people, when they cut you off like this, because they're scared of you getting the truth out. He sees that I'm about to expose his flawed thinking. So he's like, wait, no, let me cut him off. Let me cut him off and try to, throw some red herrings out there because he's scared of me getting this truth out. So let's bring it back to what we're speaking about, right? This is your second time coming up here. The first time I had to kick you out. I kicked you out because you lied. In the first clip, the same things that you accused me of, you actually did yourself. In the first clip, you accused me of being disingenuous and something else it was. But your behavior is exactly of what you accused me of in the first clip. You lied in front of me, in front of the audience, and you know that you lied to be right. But then you're continuing to do the same thing that you've done the first time I had you up. You start to critique me, and your critiques is you're being too judgmental. Meanwhile, you're critiquing me. So you're doing the same thing that you're critiquing me of. Is that not a hypocrite? Is this not hypocrisy? I'm trying to teach you manhood, bro. And you say, oh, bro, don't be calling me feminine. Talk to me like a man. I'm speaking to you how you need to be spoken to. I'm speaking to you how you need to be spoken to. You speaking all of this religious stuff. Saying, bro, oh, yeah, God this, God that, but therefore you're the one to commit the first lie. You're putting my character under the microscope. And within this two dialogues, this conversation and the last conversation, my character through the microscope is I have not lied. Your character through the microscope is that you have lied. Is that not true, or is it true?
Yes, it's true. So
within this dialogue, Chris, who's more of a godly man?
Me.
Hey, chat, I give up. So if you like that clip and you want to watch more, click right here. But if you want to watch the full episode, click right here.